Joe, good to see you. How
That
you
me?
doing? That's you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Brilliant to see
Hello,
you.
everyone.
Look at that for a smile. Ha!
I'm trying to remember it's a celebration and I don't need to be nervous.
Exactly. I'm already so impressed. It's about you, what you've accomplished. I love the background as well, Joe. Honest to God, you're a breath of fresh air right out the gate. So thanks for coming in, first of all. Thanks for coming in. Like anything, nerves go away very, very quickly. You have 170 people behind you in your corner cheering you on. So you can't do this wrong. There's no wrong answer. It's impossible to do it wrong. So the objective is to help you and help others, like anything that we do here.
Sure.
So let's go right back to the beginning because lots of people will be at the start of their journey. So, what were some of the toughest moments for you, Joe? What were some of the toughest things that you went through in terms of your weight before we met?
Okay. As a child, my mum grew up during the period of rationing during the war. She learnt to cook that way, so we were raised that way. So all four of us children have an issue with food in different ways. So our relationship with food is a bit weird. Um, yeah, either very, very, very strict diets or overeating, and I struggled to manage anything else in between. Uni, I was very sporty. I became a heavy smoker, went on the pill. I think I was about a size 8 when I left home. It's about a size 10 when I got married and had children. Still very sporty, used to run, what did I do? Gymnastics, trampolining, all sorts of things. Used to love swimming. Um, when I had the kids, still a heavy smoker, got a car, stopped exercising. It's not as easy to do, you know, long hikes and things with small children. Um, I got myself a job, which was sitting down in front of a computer job. I'm still in a sitting down in front of a computer job, so 37 hours in front of a computer, often more than that in a week. My weight started going up quite dramatically after I stopped smoking. I put a little bit on when I had the kids. I went up to about a size 14, but I stopped smoking. I worked in a hospital and they became a non-smoking environment
Yeah.
and they banned smoking. You had to go out of the premises, not just taking away the smoking room. We actually had to walk like half a mile. So I wasn't able to go out and have a fag during the day. And I couldn't cope with that constant gasping for a fag and needing one and trying to focus on your work when all I could think about is I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette. So that's what started me stopping smoking. I beat that. So in 2005, I was 14 stone. 2007, I was 16 stone. 2009, I was 18 stone. During that time, I tried Weight Watchers, Slimming World, Rosemary Connolly. I did Tesco diets, fasting, paleo, Slim Fast, MyFitnessPal.
All of them.
um, all of it was the same in that I could knuckle down at the beginning and I could eat really strict diet and manage it. But the minute I broke that, it would all fall apart and then I'd give up.
Question on
Um,
when you did notice that you were at breaking point on these diets and you gave up and the weight
yeah.
on, how did that make you feel?
Always like I couldn't lose weight, like I was a failure. I had actually just got to a point where I just accepted I'm big. This is who I am. I can't control it. My big sister's big. My mum's big. Our family are either skinny, 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 and you're bony and knobbly, or you're chunky, depending on which way you went with your eating habits. So I honestly thought that I didn't and never would have control or be able to lose weight. I think I'm busy telling myself something different now.
And what
Um,
we could help?
what did I think could help?
What made you feel we could help? What made you feel that we were not like a diet?
Um, it was the sustainable element. I went through the menopause, gallstones, and then there was the pandemic, and I was really sedentary. But I was working 14, 15 hours a day through the pandemic. I worked for social services, so there was an awful lot of work going on. And I didn't leave my desk for large periods of time, didn't exercise. And when I finished work, it would be a large bar of chocolate, things like that. And then my health just plummeted really badly. I went up to about 20 stone 7. That was my heaviest. And then went to the doctors basically. I had back pain, trouble with my knees. I was exhausted. I was on medication for high blood pressure, cholesterol, couldn't stand for very long. I was going up the stairs on my hands and knees and coming down on my bum. I had constant thrush, lots of things like that. That had an impact in lots of ways. I was more dependent on my husband, who had to do things for me. I couldn't tie my own shoes up. I didn't have much of a social life. I was just miserable. Life wasn't good. I went to the doctors and found out I was diabetic. Gave me vitamin D and I was put on metformin straight away. I was a diabetic. I was HB1AC 54, so quite high. I figured, that was in March 23, I figured I would manage it myself and I could do it myself. I started making changes. I stopped taking sugar in my drinks. I switched from white to wholemeal. Started shopping online instead of going into the shops. I was less tempted by rubbish. What did I do? Increase fruit and veg. Started blood sugar monitoring. I made quite a few changes. I stopped eating any desserts. I cut out the chocolate. I did lose a stone, but I got stuck.
Yeah.
And it started going back the other way, which is when I saw you.
The reason I asked that question is because when you've obviously made those changes and you've lost a stone, it's very easy to say things like, oh, I have all the tools, or I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You become overconfident. So you're saying it was when you started to see it go the other way, that was the internal push you needed to be able to get the help. Is that what you...
Yeah.
And
yes, it was that feeling of not being able to do it. I'm quite impulsive. I'm ADHD, and your advert came up and I saw it and I went, oh yeah, that's for me. I'll join that. And without thinking, I pressed the button and then I got a bunch of emails. I spent a week or so turning myself inside out, spending a lot of time reflecting, spending a lot of time in tears before I realized how, sorry, I'm going to get upset, how deep-seated there was in terms of pain, self-abuse, things that I wasn't managing, depression. There was a lot going on, and I hadn't realized how far down that line I'd gone or how difficult things have become. And that couple of weeks was really difficult. And then I decided to sign up, so I did. And it was life-changing for me. I don't know what else to say. It was life-changing. In the first 12 weeks, I lost a bit of weight. I've spent the last year learning how to eat properly, learning what a portion size looks like, starting to eat breakfast. I hadn't eaten breakfast in years. It was fags for breakfast. You know, breakfast started about midday and finished at midnight with chocolate. So my diet has changed completely. I've learned to stop snacking all the time. I've introduced some new rules, some boundaries. I've learned a lot about self-talk. I think I spent a lot of time, I'm not good enough. I take up too much space, making jokes about myself, you know, pinky, wide, low coming through, that sort of thing. A lot of that has changed over this year. I've grown some confidence. I've grown some self-talk. I'm still not sporty. I'm only just starting really to do steps in a way that means anything. But I joined in November last year. My HB1AC was 54 then.
Yeah.
I had another test this year and it's down to 46.
Oh,
so I'm now pre-diabetic. So for me, that's the biggest thing. I'd lost 1 stone on my own. I've lost 2 stones since then with TSD. So I'm 17 stone 6. I've got loads to do and so far to go. And I know that. But this has been life-changing for me. And the thing that makes me think it's sustainable is just the fact that I've got the support there. I've just signed up for the 2-for-1, so I've now got 3 years because I know I haven't even started on the sports yet. And I know I'm going to hit a plateau. I've been there in the last few weeks where, well, since about October, where I've gotten stuck. And Alex's slogan's stick in my head. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Weight loss is a staircase. Trust the process. Don't go dark. Focus on the wins. What you do every day is what you become. Those little slogans, they stick in your head and they're really motivating when you need them. They just pop in your head and you can find them. So yeah, keep repeating stuff. It's useful. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. My next steps is probably sport. Mish. I've just joined Fit with Rick Advent event, so 24 days of leaping about in your lounge. I signed up for Tough Mother. That was an impulse. That's scary because that's going to be hilarious. You might just find me following you around.
Yeah. But you know what's important there? And I think that impulsive is a word I use a lot around food. And it can be certainly something that's been very, very damaging. But in terms of many things, the word decisive is a stronger word to use because decisive implies confidence. And if we say things, even if we don't fully feel they're fully true yet, we live up to that identity. It's why I talk about decisiveness. And it's why I say I can't do push-ups yet, or I can't do a chin-up yet. And I love that you reference back what we do every day is what we become, because your day is a snapshot of your life. And if there's aspects of your day that you're not satisfied with, change it. Do not lie down to it. Do not settle for anything. Life is very, very, very short. And Joe, you had so many reasons why you could just give in and not tried. But you didn't do that. You doubled down, you doubled down, you doubled down. And what would you say to someone who's on the fence and who is scared of failing and has never asked for help before, actually?
Never asked for help. Ask for help. It's really important to do it. And more to the point, recognize where you're at. It's so easy to just kind of travel along the road and just keep going and just plump for who you are when you could be so much more. Yeah. So ask for help. It's really important.
That's
and
brilliant.
I think probably when you do start, baby steps.
Yes.
There's so many. I was completely overwhelmed when I first started. It was kind of like eat protein, drink water, sleep, do steps, have a journal, be affirmation, gratitude. Oh, cardio. Have you not done that yet?
Yeah.
Reading. Haven't you recorded anything? Send us a photograph. Self-care. Have you visualized it? And being a perfectionist, I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm rubbish. I can't get any of this. I've only done 3 today, or I've only done this today. Don't do that. Just do what you can do, and it builds over time.
And on that note, what's really important is because people are different, the habits that people pick up sooner or later is totally dependent on the individual. So the reason why we've so many habits at the start, because we almost want you to pick and choose. We want you to pick, like, what's the first 3 you're going to adopt? Then what's the next one we can stack on top of them 3 the following week? What next one can stack on top of that the following week? And that's habit stacking just leads to phenomenal momentum of success. And speaking of which, like, there's so many people here watching and shouting for you here, Joe, in the comments. Like, I can see Haley Pope, Paula Curry, Mandy Byam, great advice, Joe, baby steps. So one day at a time, Nornita's quoting you back, incremental steps. I think that's really, really good advice. Like, better is enough and forward is forward. You don't have to get everything right because nobody does. And as I've said to you before, Joe, like, if you were to ask me to point out someone who got everything right in the first 8 weeks, I couldn't tell you anyone's name. No one does. Get everything right in 2 months. The weight doesn't come on in 2 months. It's not going to come off. But you used life-changing as an expression so many times to describe this, and obviously found myself getting a little bit emotional even listening to you, Joe, because you've been through a lot of shit, excuse my language, from when you were younger. That can lead to you going either way in terms of your relationship with food. And you just sort of are a living and breathing example of it's never too late. It is never too late to have a better life. And I am So grateful. Any final words to say to everybody watching?
No, just focus on your wins. That's the other one. Don't compete. You're in your own journey. Stop looking at all the people that are size 12 and thinking you're rubbish. Just do what you can do and be where you are, and that's enough.
Do what you can do. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough.
Mm.
And the reason why I ask everybody for their wins, just for those of you watching here, it's not because I want you to be positive, inverted commas. It's not that I want that. It's not that I want you to like not look on the downside or look at the upside. It's a lot stronger than that. It's I want you to be able to recognize everything that you are accomplishing, which will be a springboard for your confidence so you keep moving forward. You don't become more confident by looking at your shortfalls, your flaws. Obviously, you don't. You don't become more confident by looking at the gap. Like even Joe, a few minutes ago, you said to me you have a long way to go. I want you focusing more on how far you've come. Because Joe, you are a superstar. An absolute super. Like you were obviously nervous to come on here, and you've just blown this out the park. You have been brilliant. You articulate yourself, as he slurs his words, you articulate yourself incredibly well, much better than me. So you should be really proud. I am massively grateful. Massive congrats to the 2-for-1, of course, as well on winning that. And everyone here is just throwing in such wonderful comments. Best of luck going through all of them, Joe, but try your best, okay? And good night, everybody. Joe, you're amazing. And have a cracking week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.